The first patch, post-launch, well, I'll get to that in a moment, has been announced, coming later this week. Now, first of all, the first, it's not actually the first, it's the second patch, because patch 1.04, anyone who had the Champions Edition of the game will know that their game updated without warning and without any patch notes being announced by EA or Codemasters at all, as well. There's also problems with this. First, these issues do address some stuff that some of these things are alarming. Like, these things should have been fixed before the game was released, and the fact that they're not shows that there are huge problems with where the F1 game sits right now. We've also alarming that will be available to download in the coming days. The words "coming days" it alarms me, because what happens usually with one of these patches, if you're new to the F1 game and not familiar with how patches work, basically EA and Codemasters who make the game, basically they have a patch note like this, but it says this patch is now live. It's usually on PC, and it's usually like coming later on. It usually comes later on the consoles, I should point out, if you do play on Xbox or PlayStation. But it's not even out yet, so this patch isn't even here, which questions me. I apologise for that. I question the thought that, is there something wrong? Is there something wrong with this patch? Has something failed in the QA testing or something? We don't know. Fixed an issue where two-player career mode was incorrectly using equal performance instead of realistic performance. Now, this patch list does not fix everything. Two-player career is getting its first patch for about 2 years since F1 2021. It's a joke. They didn't do any patches for two-player career at all on F1 22, and there's still loads of bugs available. Apparently, if you watched here at Marnock or Alex Gillen's series, two-player career series, you'll be aware that the race after a sprint race, there is issues with the tyres selection options, with Ben having forced onto a horrible, and the AI forced onto a horrible 5-stop strategy. And the same issue apparently is still there. Now, one of the big reasons why issues are still there is that EA and Codemasters copy and paste their games from year and year, and they build on top of that the assets. So the base stuff the base coding of the game is still there, which is why we're still seeing so many bugs. And really, there needs to be it's fine to use the base coding, but they need to make sure that all the patches that have been done over the years fixing this stuff gets put into the game, puts into that base game that they build on. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. Fixed an issue where safety car information that would disable in 25% races. It's like they didn't bother testing it. Fixed an issue where players could be removed from... on the preview one, 25% as well. Like, you should have tested that because it's in Breaking Point as well, 25%. Fixed an issue where players could be removed from multiplayer lobbies when interacting with some system menus. I mean, they should really be testing multiplayer, especially with F1 World, new multiplayer. Fixed issues where players could drop some FPS during drops at night races. I haven't really experienced that. Fixed an issue where cars could incorrectly collide when setting collisions off the first lap only was enabled. And this was a new feature for F1 23, so it clearly shows that they did no QA testing on it. Why are they not investing in more QA testing to make sure that this is a new feature to the game for F1 23? This should have been fixed before the game was released. Fixed an issue where the game had crashed an additional F2 save active. Fixed an issue. This also another one. Fixed an issue where finishing positions would be incorrect after a red flag. Did they not test this either? Like, who tested the red flags, and why has this not been fixed until, we're 2 weeks after launch now, after the Champions Edition? Don't know. Fixing issues with a car could hit a wall out of the 11th garage causing damage. There's been stuff about the 11th garage before. I think it was France. So yeah, this is an old issue that's been fixed and still needs to be fixed. Fixed an issue where switching between performance and quality graphics modes caused FPS issues on the Xbox Series X. Again, hasn't been tested. And that's a new thing as well, I think. Fix an issue where F1 World Goals expires while the bonus goal is active, resulting in an error message. I think, again, QA testers. Where are they? Is there just one bloke in that entire department? Well, corrected the Renault Driver Academy to Alpine Driver Academy. For goodness sake. This is basic stuff. It's not like, oh, we've just found this bug caused by something. This is a basic thing to get things right, and it's clearly not gone wrong. Fixing issues where in certain settings enabled the virtual rear view mirror could be present when looking backwards. I've seen that actually as well. Yeah, this should not have been a thing. It's fixed an issue where sponsor decals would not appear on race suits and helmets in my team. This is the same issue that the game has every single year with decals. I think it's still in the replay cameras as well. Although I don't play my team. Let me know if you've played your my team and noticed that they're missing in the replay cameras or not. Fixing issues where players are getting stuck on the grid in Chapter 7 in Breaking Point. And again, QA testing. Fix an issue where the strategy change after damage wouldn't appear on the voice command display. Yes, I've had that because it says speak as well, which or it doesn't come up properly. I'm hoping that they fix that for everything and not just when damaged, and then they got the 2 final thing. But a lot of this should have been fixed, and this doesn't even scratch a surface. Oh, I forgot the issue where True Force would not apply for Logitech wheels on PlayStation and PC. I think this is the force feedback, what they call it. True Force, probably trademarked, registered mark, whatever it is. You name it, they probably trademark that to hell and back. But yeah, that should also be tested really, especially the fact that the Logitech it's not like you're playing on some minor brand. It's Logitech. It's probably the 3rd biggest brand for wheels out there, and Logitech. Well, I don't know. I don't own a wheel. So there we go. Now, EA and Codemasters have these pages. I'll leave a link to all these pages in the description below if you want to go and have a look at this. But this is basically Codemasters. So on their forums, and there are lots and lots and lots of posts as usual because the gamer stuff. There's a lot of stuff such as goals being locked after executing Community Grand Prix, incorrect price for boosting some level 2 car parts. And again, should be fixed. Assists remain locked in other modes after participating in the Community Grand Prix. Like the Community Grand Prix is a new thing for F123. Should be tested. Sponsor boards in Singapore unlit for some players. My goodness grief. Sponsor decals can't be removed from the My Team car. Goodness grief. AI slowing to match speed on quali in laps. I've also had this where they just slow down again, which was apparently fixed in F122, and yet it's not on there. Hard tire unavailable after sprint races and 2-player career. They're investigating it. It's only been 15 months of that issue. That one's been fixed. Or Xbox. They fixed PC and PlayStation. They haven't fixed Xbox, funny enough. They should have been able to fix that. Other various full feedbacks issued across multiple platforms. Agreed. I think Aris will failed in one of his episodes. Yeah, he's friendless for those with the fortune to have a large number of friends. Well, obviously we got the pit lane. No pit. Some of these patches, so some of these are coming in a future patch. Some of these are coming in this current patch, like the red flag. This one coming in, the true force as well. Just quickly skimming over this though. No pit lane limit or distance warning message when using cockpit cam. As well, that seems to be one. Time trial OSD customization for F1 dial is not saving. I have an issue with the OSD customization for this year's game, and it's the fact that when you customize, like where your gear and the rev counter and everything is, you have to customize it for each individual part, as opposed in previous years where you just customize that bit for, and it reflects all the others as well. So I'm hoping they're going to fix that, so that when you move the gear ratio, that rev counter and everything, the DRS and the ERS, etc., if you move that, then it will apply to all the other parts. Like you currently, you've got to set it in the position for the race, the qualifying, time trial, practice, and then also there's the elimination options, which the elimination event I can't even find in this game. Issues with goating car. Oh, that one's been fixed. And again, breaking point gets stuck on at chapter 7, which I forgot to mention. Like, again, QA testing. Simple as that. QA testing is not testing this. Like on-screen display, which I presume is full. Is that full screen display? I don't know. But I'm hoping that, freeze when a player disconnects from an online session. Like, test these things. You've got 3 platforms. Test them. Don't rely on the community to say to this 2 weeks after stuff. 2 weeks after the late game is launched. Oh, we got this is broken. This is broken. This is broken. Because there's I think there's something like 7,000 comments in the community posts already, and it's only been 2 weeks. 7,000 comments. It just shows how broken this game is. I'm hoping that from F1 24 onwards we get a new game engine, and they start fresh. Start from a blank. We're gonna have. Well, first of all, we need a new career mode, because the current one is just, they decided not to do they did absolutely anything to that as well. And it's been the same career mode that's been copied and pasted since F1 2020, but they've just removed a few things. And I'm going to end this video with the comments from the post on Twitter. Matteo asks, what about the contract glitch in career mode? I want all the current drivers to complete the season, including Alonso's retirement before Abu Dhabi. So yeah, it looks like some of the drivers, I think Webby87, when he simulated 10 seasons, his career mode had Hamilton retired in the final race, which when he could win the World Championship, he retired before the final race. So that's apparently going to be the next match on 0.06. Will this fix crossplay playing drop spot players on console, says I Contrast. Yeah, obviously they got the night things, but yeah, not being fixed. Dylan, what about slipping in every corner? Is that normal? Didn't have that problem last year. I think he's had the same issue I had in Baku, and also I presume the rear end. Hopefully they're looking into that and not anything. They're fixing that one. So it looks like this bloke Esteban is in. I think he's in spectator mode, or he's in something. Some sort of spectator mode, or I think he's in spectator mode, but I think he's in qualifying. Excuse me. So he's obviously probably set his time to retire, thinking that's enough, and then you get a black screen when trying to spectate. So that's something that needs to be fixed. As is safety cars still unavailable, running corner cutting only. I don't know if that's just a safety car issue though, because the safety cars can be a bit hit and miss on the F1 games as we've seen previously. And we are going to leave it, ladies and gentlemen, on with this old glitch, ladies and gentlemen, the dancing tire wall glitch that has been in every single F1 game since F1 2016. On that note, I'm going to leave it there. If you have enjoyed, leave a like. Let me know what you think about the new patch in the comments below. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.